Good morning and welcome to the MCTV's second panel discussion. I'm Thorn Compton, and here with me today is Dr. Ron Milam, Faculty Advisor for Veterans Association, Travis Jolley, a veteran who currently attends Texas Tech, and Missy Helbert, Senior Academic Advisor of the College of Community College and Transfer Relations and a Marine veteran. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
good morning.
Thanks for having us.
For the 5th year in a row, Texas Tech was ranked one of the top military-friendly schools by GI Jobs magazine. Reporter Tate covers Tech's Veterans Day event and Tech's pride as a military-friendly school.
November 11th was a National Day of Remembrance and Honor for Veterans Day, and there's no difference on Tech campus while hosting a roll call for fallen soldiers at Memorial Circle. Starting off the event was Assistant Director of Military and Veterans Program, Ryan Van Dusen.
Help ensure their legacy of patriotism does not perish. The memory of their service will not diminish, and those of us who remain will work tirelessly to continue to make this world a better place.
The list, consisting of 597 fallen Texan soldiers, was read by several veterans and family members of veterans to show their support.
Veteran, served in 2009 in Afghanistan. I'm also a member of student government here at Texas Tech. I'd like to say thank you for all y'all coming out.
This is the second year Tech has hosted the event and is one of only 91 universities that host such an event. Tech students and athletes showed praises and thanks for active soldiers and veterans on social media. Texas Tech tight end Jay Samaro tweeted, "Every man and woman in the military are our real heroes. #NeverQuit." Tech was recently listed among the top 20% of colleges nationwide by military-friendly schools by GI Jobs magazine and is listed its 5th year to be recognized as a military-friendly campus. Adding to its respect for veterans, Tech has joined the Got Your Six program, where the university shows veterans and military families as leaders and civic assets. For MCTV, I'm Tanner Tate.
Now, Travis, as a veteran and Texas Tech student, what does Tech's commitment toward veterans really mean to you?
I've seen just a great outshowing of support in general, both from the faculty and the students, especially at Veterans Day. We saw just a lot of things happening. I was approached on at least four different times by strangers who they'd either seen the boots or they knew me in class and they knew that I was a veteran, and it was a near universal showing of support. So I think that was really great. It shows a good culture here at Tech.
That's great. Dr. Milam, I know you were on the board that runs a lot of the events that we do. What would you say our relationship with veterans here is on Tech campus?
Well, it couldn't be more positive. You can start with the idea that we actually have a full-time staff of people that deal with our veterans. The Military and Veterans Program here at Texas Tech is very unusual. Most universities have people that are part-time dealing with veterans. Here, we actually deal with them on a full-time basis. So we start with that. Some of the other things that we do here at Texas Tech, we have, for example, a military history minor, which allows a lot of the veterans that return from Iraq and Afghanistan to take what I like to call sort of comfort courses that they're familiar with. So, and notwithstanding the fact that I think most of our student body are very comfortable being around veterans.
Right. Missy, you are a former Marine and you've worked on Tech campus for a while. Would you say you enjoy working with Marines whenever they are veterans whenever they're maybe transferred in or anything like that?
Thorn, I do enjoy working with the veterans here at Texas Tech. I seem to get a lot of phone calls from Afghanistan from students who plan to attend Texas Tech once they complete their tour of duty in Afghanistan. So, and I've had some Army veterans as well as some Marine veterans that have talked to me, and I always get a chance to meet them when they come to Tech. So it makes me, they know I'm a military-friendly office. There's a Marine Corps emblem in my office. There's MVP on my door, MVP sticker saying I'm military veterans friendly, but I really am, and they can feel comfortable coming into my office to talk to me.
That's great. Have you ever seen someone walk on the grass in Memorial Circle? Well, reporters Emily Pellegrini, Tanner Tate, and Roxie Bustamante researched the history and traditions of Memorial Circle.
Memorial Circle is one of the most prominent sites on campus dedicated to veterans and surrounded by the Fluga Fountain.
Memorial Circle was dedicated in 1948 to Tech veterans who had served in World War II, and then years later was rededicated to any Tech students and faculty who served in any war.
The circle is host to many traditions at Tech, one of which started in 2001.
In 2001, Student Government Senate passed a bill stating that students are to respect the grass around Memorial Circle. President-select students often tell incoming students of this tradition when they come to Red Raider orientation.
Barclay White, president of President-select, shared how Veterans Day is celebrated at Memorial Circle.
Veterans Day, they also have a ceremony where the chancellor and the president go, you have some different university officials, and then also people who have served in recently, like Iraq and Afghanistan. I know that they do a lot of kind of honoring of those individuals who've served the country.
White also shared a favorite story incoming freshmen enjoy hearing.
We always like to tell a story. There was a football player a few years ago. There was someone walking on the grass, and as you know, a lot of students on campus walk around with headphones in their ears, and so some people were telling this individual to get off the grass, and they couldn't hear. So a football player went and picked this student up and actually set them on the sidewalk. And so when I tell that one, that always gets some laughs.
There are ways to be remembered at Memorial Circle.
Paving the way to student success was a campaign started by SGA in 2005, allowing donors to purchase bricks like these and put their names on them for student scholarships.
To donate a brick and leave your lasting mark, visit the SGA website. For MCTV, I'm Emily Pellegrini.
Dr. Milam, now I know some customs have changed, but what would you say are maybe some of your favorite kind of customs that, not necessarily from Memorial Circle, but just general veterans customs that we have here on Tech campus?
Well, I think what we just went through this last weekend was pretty unusual. There were, and we'll just start with the football game, I guess. I saw a very strong outpouring of support for the veterans that were in the audience, the veterans that we had on the field. The very idea that we've done this, I think, 3 years in a row now with the special uniforms. I think those are the kind of things that make Tech stand out among other universities. We also have, not only do we have a very large group of students and faculty now that we know are veterans, but the support of the community, knowing that this is a veteran-friendly university, it's a veteran-friendly town, and I think that all the traditions that we do here at Texas Tech are really supported by the community, which makes us very special.
Travis, just kind of touching on what he just said there, now having lived here in Lubbock as a veteran, would you agree that it's a very veteran-friendly town, not just
100%, absolutely, yes. Oh, yeah. And again, it all comes from just meeting people who are in my class just out and about in the town. I'm not the only person who goes and frequents the bars here pretty frequently, and when people see you, you know, because I'm relatively new to the town, they'll see me sitting there with one or two friends, and you know, they'll pull their little group of 2 or 3 friends over, and they'll sit down and they'll buy a round of drinks, and you know, it's just because they know me, they know my veteran affiliation, and it's just really great to know that that here in Lubbock, Texas, we're just almost universally welcomed, and it's fantastic.
Oh yes. Missy, what can non-veteran students do to become more involved with the veterans and show their support or appreciation for their service?
They can basically not ask some silly questions of veterans.
Silly questions.
And, you know, I mean, and I love our tech students, I really do, but I have heard some go, hey, did you ever shoot anybody? Did you ever, and don't ask a veteran that. They don't need to be reminded of some of those things. So that's, to me, the biggest thing. It's like, just keep that to yourself. You can, go ahead, Ron.
One of the things that I notice the most, and I teach military history here at Texas Tech. I teach the Vietnam War, World War II, and all those kinds of things. And the thing that I notice the most about our non-veterans is they're starting to understand that having a friend that is a veteran is something very special, because our veterans come into the classroom with such a dedication. Their time management is better than all of our other students. Their discipline is, of course, always better. They're usually a little bit older than our non-veterans. And I think I'm starting to see in my classrooms that the non-veterans are starting to say, you know, that's a good person to know. That's a good guy, that's a good woman to know. I'm going to try to learn from them. I'm going to try to sit next to them. I'm going to try to help them with the things that they need for adjustment, and they might even be able to help me with my classroom things because they're so serious about what it is they're really doing. I think that makes a big difference too.
Oh, yeah. Travis, what's been your reaction of students? You know, I know you say people will sit down and they'll buy drinks. Have you ever had anybody ask you a stupid question maybe, or, you know, kind of get a little personal where you didn't want to?
The stupid questions are few and far between. I think that most students, at least in the way they relate to me, and I'm not a small person, so maybe they're afraid of offending me. But
that's true.
But the misinformed questions aren't very common. Mm-hmm. But on one notable occasion, it was right after Veterans Day. Oh. I had a student come up to me who again just recognized me as a veteran, and he just outright called me a murderer. And that is that 1 in 10 million where something like that will happen, but it does happen.
It does happen.
It's still here.
Well, thank you all for joining us today, and thank you so much for your, we very much so appreciate your service to this country.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Thorn.
Okay. Last week we had a panel discussion about Westboro Baptist Church protesting against Texas Tech's stance on homosexuality at the Baylor versus Tech game in Arlington. Well, since then, Westboro Baptist Church has responded, and here's what they had to say. Shirley Phelps Roper, the granddaughter of the founder of Westboro Baptist Church, said, "Look at this sorry display at TTU SBJ. The bimbo, the phony Christian, and the dyke talking about gay Christians. Gag, exclamation point, hashtag oxymoron, hashtag priests rape boys." Also, Westboro Baptist Church said, "How one-sided, should have had WBC on this. This will suffice," and they sent us a link to a 25-minute response. Here with me are some students who are on the panel: Emily Pellegrini, Tanner Tate, and Carolyn Heck. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, as members of the panel last week, what are y'all's thoughts on their response?
Well, I really think that I was surprised to actually see that they saw the tweet sent out by TTU SPJ. I thought I did not expect that, and so I was, kind of taken aback, and really what they said didn't surprise me that much. So, no, seeing the signs and stuff that they've said. So, I mean, there's no, pop factor or wow factor that the tweet had for me, at least.
Mm-hmm. Like Tanner, I was surprised to see that they responded to us, but I actually took it as a compliment. The fact that we're getting some attention and the fact that they had a response, we welcome their response, I think.
Indeed.
What do you think, Carolyn?
I think it was kind of funny that they were offended enough by what we had to say to come on to Twitter and call us names and just bring us that much more publicity and get our message out there. Mm-hmm.
Now, Carolyn, you talked to some people that actually went to the game. Were they actually able to find the protests? What did they think about the protests if they found them?
Yeah, the two people I talked to weren't able to find the protests at all. And I'm pretty sure that's because that the WBC, they can't protest on private property, so they probably had to go way out there, past the parking lots, past everything else. And no one was out there, so no one could really see the protest at all.
Well, I've seen a video of them actually with their signs and Tech fans and Baylor fans walking past them. But from what I've been told from my friends that have went to the game, people that have went to the game, is that they really didn't see them. So I guess, their presence went a little bit unknown, or I'm sure no one was out looking for them, or at least, But so as far as I've heard, no one has really seen them. I've only seen that video.
Mm-hmm. And I think the Texas Tech community, at least, I don't know about Baylor, but the Texas Tech community, at least, I think we took the stance of we don't really care. We're preparing for the game, and I think that's kind of what happened because the protest didn't seem to have an effect on anyone.
I agree.
Now, do y'all think that Tech's approach to the game, specifically the way the athletic department and everyone, faculty-wise, was approaching it, just ignoring the thing, do you think that kind of had something to do with how little coverage really the protest got?
Definitely. I think this kind of blackout policy that most media outlets tend to have with the WBC, it's kind of like with a toddler and their favorite toy, take it away from them, and what are they going to do? They're going to throw a fit, but they're not going to get any publicity, and that's ultimately, I think, what most people should do.
Thank you all very much for joining us. That's all for the second edition of MCTV's discussion panel. Be sure to check ttuhub.net for news and for the Wednesday edition of MCTV Weekday Update.